Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Brainmuffin's Take on the Movies, or Goes to Movies, or I don't know what to call it. So anyway, even among people who really like The Force Awakens and the people like me who think it's the biggest piece of junk ever put to film, there's big questions been for almost 2 years now. Why in the world does Leia not hug Chewie when it come back after Han's death? Why does she go straight to Rey and Chewie just walks by her? This is actually very simple. You have to understand one thing about Jar Jar Abrams, and that is he copies, especially when he's rebooting. He did it with Star Trek. He's doing the same thing with Star Wars. We're going to get an Empire. We're going to get a Return of the Jedi type of thing. And people will say, but he's not. He's still the executive producer, which means he still has creative control. So in the original movie, Star Wars, what became known as A New Hope, after they get back on the Millennium Falcon, I don't like my hands being up. After they get back on the Millennium Falcon, after Ben's death, Ben Kenobi sacrifices himself so the team can escape. They before they hit the Sentry ships, Luke is depressed. He's just kind of sitting there at the chess table, and Leia comes up and she puts a cloak over him, his cloak, and consoles him just for a few seconds, not very long, because then Han interrupts and says, "We've still got work to do," they go off and they blow up the TIE fighters. Since he's copying the original movie, in many cases, scene by scene, the framing, they use that's why they used the lenses from their first movie. It was because they're copying it. Because that happens in the first movie, that means they analog to Luke, who's Rey. Now, granted, Rey does her journey in about 2.5 days. That Luke took about 6 or 7 years, depending on how much time actually passes between those movies. And Leia is her own analog. There isn't a Leia-like character in the new movies at all. And with Carrie Fisher gone, I doubt they're going to create one because they don't know how to create a true, strong female character. Because she's the analog, at the death of the patriarch, if you will, so Ben Kenobi and so I'm getting confused. Han Solo, I keep wanting to say Ben Solo. Han Solo is the analog to Ben. He talks to her, "Hey kid, want to join us?" When they're at Maz Kanata's, the same kind of conversation he had with Luke before they went off to blow up the Death Star. "Hey, you're kind of good in a fight. We could use you." That type of thing. "Maybe we've got a job for you." And so he's a little bit of his analog of himself, and then he's also an analog of Ben later. And with that death, Han Solo's death, very similar-ish, sort of. Now Leia has to console the analog to Luke with the mentor figure. I want to say father figure. That's wrong. Mentor figure is gone. Now it doesn't really matter that Mary Sue only knew Han for about 2 days at most, and Luke knew Ben all his life, that as far as he could remember. The crazy old hermit who lives beyond the Dune Sea. Finds out he's Obi-Wan Kenobi, finds out he's a general, finds out he had known his father in the past, finds out a little bit more about his father, gets the lightsaber, all that stuff. So out of a chest and all this kind of things. And now Maz Kanata kind of plays a little bit of Ben in that scene and a little bit of Yoda. She's a poor analog for anything, but that's it. That's why is Leia consoles the analog to Luke, and Leia being her own analog consoles Rey and not Chewie at Han's death. If had been a real movie as opposed to a rewrite of A New Hope, a very horrible and poor rewrite, most likely she would go straight to Chewie, and Rey would probably just walk past them and go to Finn or console Finn. Finn's unconscious, or they're so forgettable. Poe Dameron, and kind of saying, "Hey, we're Solo," and that type of thing. He didn't make it, but we don't get that because Jar Jar Abrams is repeating the first movie beat per beat, and of course he does it very poorly. And now we'll get Empire. We'll get beat per beat of that. Trailer already confirmed that the next movie is Empire. So that's why. That's it. There's no goofy conspiracy theory. There's not, middle connection. There's all kinds of things I've heard. I think they're all crap. The reason is, in the original movie, Leia consoled Luke. So in the reboot, rehash nonsense that we have now, Leia's analog, who's herself, consoles Luke's analog, who's Rey. after the death of Ben Kenobi's analog Han Solo. So as much as a mentor that he was, not much of one, know him for 2 days, and somehow you had that amount of emotional attachment. So that's it. That is the reason. And so now we can go on with life. And but anyway, so let me know what you think about that. You think I'm crazy? You think I'm reading not enough into it? I know there's probably about 9 million videos out there talking about this one topic from about 4,000 different perspectives. It's amazing how many videos. It's exactly what Disney wants, and it's stupid. But anyway, but there we go. There's the real reason, because Jar Jar Abrams is a hack director and writer, and he doesn't know how to make any of his own movies. So basically, he just copies others, and especially when he's rebooting. So he did Star Trek. He's doing the same thing with Star Wars, and it's horrible. All right, see you later. Bye.